be to hurt the rapist next door. It's hard to get fresh air in here and keep it warm enough. The whole coming to Colorado thing was a fucking setup by the guy that does the box trucks, named Ray Ballas. His son, who's an astrophysicist major in college, he set me up. He fucking set me up to come here. Made me question the government's involvement at that point more seriously. Because when I looked it up, Colorado has a lot of, and when I was driving, a lot of government stuff goes on here. But for me, what always points to the government's possible participation is the fact that these people are so fucking obvious and so fucking confident that they're not gonna, because literally they'd spend the rest of their life in prison. I mean, this lady would never get out, if not get the needle. I mean, this is without a doubt. You put on television, you do a news story over what this bitch has done. I mean, look how long my hair is here. She cuts my fucking hair off. She tortures my uterus. She drugs me and hands me out like candy to rapists and sodomizers. And tries to do it every day. Deforms my body. Bends my limbs. Deforms me. Cripples me. She'd get the fucking needle. So, how are you going to be so confident? Dahmer wasn't this confident. Bundy wasn't this confident. I mean, these are fucking true-born serial killers. People way more advanced than her. People that do it all by themselves. No help from a plethora of drug addicts and traffickers and sex traffickers and all the help they can get, corrupt police officers. I mean, she has all those people. You know? Is that where the confidence lies? You'd still be concerned. In fact, you'd be more concerned. You're not concerned that one of those rapists won't get caught raping somebody else and talk about this so they don't have to go to prison? You don't think one of these heroin addicts or meth heads is going to chit-chat while they're fucked up and high? How can you be so goddamn confident when literally your life is on the line? Not your freedom, your life. How can you be so fucking confident when you involve that many people? I mean, even Tamer, her little lover boy from Los Angeles. Even him. He's a pedophile, I can tell. And what I bet you he has gone back to doing since I left is looking up raping children online. What if he gets caught up in a sting of pedophiles? Do you think he'd rat this little crazy bitch out in order to not go to prison? It's possible. Their relationship is quite severed now that she's had to travel all around following me. And it might have dawned on him that things weren't really what they seemed. That her care and concern for him, or her love for him, or her attraction to him was all just a manipulation. He might have enough marbles in his head to figure that one out. I'm sure she checks it every now and again to keep him stringing along. But in this case, I'm sure absence does not make the heart go fonder. I'm sure he's missing the raping and the sodomizing and the torturing. And hands tied, right? Since I named him specifically. Put it in police reports with police that weren't corrupt. But yeah, how do you be so confident? I mean, you offed Tom Purdy. I called the feds about that. I made an anonymous tip that they were involved in murdering Tom Purdy. I called the feds. I called HPD. You don't have everybody on the feds, on HPD. You don't have everybody. I know that for a fact. Don't even have all of LAPD. Most, but not all. So how do you maintain your confidence? Unless you already know the feds know you're doing this. And they're letting you. It's not smooth sailing. There's at least 2 police officers out there that actually believe what I said. I would say there's 3 that I can think of. One in Vancouver, Washington, one in Tillamook, Oregon, and one in Forest Grove, Oregon. See, good cops that don't believe that pieces of shit like you should rape and torture and sodomize. Are you getting antsy? So what's up with all this sighing? What's up, bitch? Just remember this and never forget it. If you and I were to go toe-to-toe, with me awake, even with you mutilating my body, drugging me, if I were awake and you were standing in front of me, you would die. You would die. I'd kill you with my bare hands. Just remember that. I don't care who has your back, bitch. You think I'm afraid of a bunch of bitch-ass motherfuckers who chose evil over good? We're so weak. Every cartel member was once some young boy that was starving or neglected and scraped off the streets by some other stupid motherfucker who then took everything from him and made him into a beast. See, I see through all the other stuff, and I see you guys for exactly what you are. Especially you, bitch. I know for a fact, even though you emanate evil, you stink like the dead. You stink like a rotting dead person. even though you've slathered yourself with patchouli. It's because inside you're rotting. You're rotting. Doesn't matter how many times you bathe, it doesn't. You still stink. Because it comes from the inside. Because that's you. You're rotting. You're afraid to disappoint all your rapists, the only people that you have friends with now.